everyone, Caffeine Man here, and today we are going over the long overdue, long awaited GFuel tier list coming right up. Hello again everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And in today's video, we're going over my GFuel tier list. That's right, people have been asking for tier lists for years. I'm finally starting to get to a couple of tier lists. I'm also representing Dog Nation today. Woof woof. And there are 52 drinks for me to go over, so let's just jump right into this. I'm gonna be doing this alphabetically. I wasn't exactly sure which way to do it. I was like, do I start with the best ones, the worst ones? They usually get put all over the place, so I am actually just gonna be going in alphabetical order, and I will explain how I see S, A, B, C, and D, and E as I go through it. Let's start off with A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Demon. And yes, that is how it goes, because a lot of people just refer to the movie as Nightmare on Elm Street, but technically it is A Nightmare on Elm Street. And let's start recording our screen. We will jump over to A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Demon, and I thought that it was an okay flavor. I'm actually going to put it down in D. The D tier is going to be drinks that most of the time that I think were mostly okay drinks. E are going to be the undrinkable ones for me. E is the one that I don't really like. D are ones that I wouldn't really buy again, and I probably wouldn't really drink. The C tier is going to be drinks that I thought were pretty good, that I would drink again and potentially buy. But it's all a matter of what we want to spend our hard-earned money on. And I would spend my hard-earned money on anything in the S, A, and B tier. Well, let's continue on. Next up is one of the original flavors, Blue Ice. I thought they had done a good job with it, and it is going to be going into the C tier, because I would drink it again, but I wouldn't want to spend my money on it. Next up, we're going to that Bobby Boy GFuel, and oh my goodness, if you didn't see that video, that was a good video. I laid down some raps, laid down some beats in that video. So be sure to check that out. And as for the drink itself, I was a huge fan of that. So I am actually putting that in the S tier. I thought it was amazing, and I've been wanting to buy more, but it's been hard to find. Next up, we have Butter's Starfruit, which I thought was a very good flavor, a very unique flavor, and definitely something I would purchase again if I saw it out in the store. Really good drink. Next up is the Chucky GFuel, and when they did this whole Halloween theme that they did, Chucky was the only one that I actually kind of liked, and even though I liked it, it wasn't really a flavor that I prefer. Orange flavors aren't really my thing, so I would drink it again if someone would like give it to me at a party, but it's not something that I would buy. Next up is Clickbait, and it was okay, but definitely not something I'd end up buying again. Put that in the D tier. Next up, we got the GFuel. Next up, we got the Crash Bandicoot Wumpa Fruit, which was definitely an interesting flavor, and I thought it was pretty good. And you know, it's something I might drink again. Not something I would purchase, but I would probably drink it again because it was so unique. Not something that would be in my everyday rotation, or even every month rotation, or even every couple of month rotation, but still a pretty decent drink. Next up is Divine Peach, and even though it was inspired by Penguin, they didn't put it on the can. All they really have is Divine Peach on the can. So basically, when I'm going in alphabetical order, I'm going in alphabetical order by how it is on the can. If a person did it, you go by that person's name and the flavor name, and that's just kind of how I'm going. This one was Divine Peach, and I'm a huge fan of peach drinks, and I think that that one was just a miss on their part, so that is going in the D tier. As for Doozy Fruit, I thought that was an interesting flavor, and I'm gonna put that in the C tier. And once I start getting to like 5 or 6 or 7 of them, I'll probably move them around a little bit so that the worst ones are on the left, or the ones I like the least are on the left, the ones I like the most are on the right. That Doozy Fruit will be changing spots. The next one is gonna be that Dragon Ball Z. That strawberry lychee flavor was really good. So good that it is actually going up to that B tier. Gonna put it ahead of the Butter Starfruit. Next up is gonna be the Dr. Disrespect Black on Blackberry. And I was a pretty big fan of that, but unfortunately Dr. Disrespect is no longer with them, so they had to discontinue the flavor. That is going in the B tier, and I'm still waiting to see if they're going to have a replacement for that one, because they did a really good job with it. Next up is going to be Phaseberry. This was also part of their original line, and although it was pretty good, I thought it was pretty impressive, even though it was part of their original line. I'm still going to put it in the C tier, because I definitely drink it again, but there's so many other drinks that I would probably spend my money on. Next up is Phase Jev, Raging Gummy Fish, and that is also going in the C tier right next to the Phase Jev, right next to the Phaseberry. And when this drink came out, everyone was going crazy saying it tastes like Swedish Fish, it tastes like Swedish Fish, and I was like, I tried it, I was like, this does not taste like Swedish Fish. I am a big Swedish Fish fan, and it did taste like maybe those mixed colored fish, those gummy fish, but it definitely was not Swedish Fish, and people would argue with me. And then Ghost finally came out with their Swedish Fish flavor, and I'm like, that is Swedish Fish. That is what Swedish Fish is. Raging Gummy Fish is not fish. is not Swedish Fish, and goes prove that for me. Next up, we have Free Guy, and I was not a fan of that. People were excited about it. People said it was great, but there was something wrong with that flavor that I think they just put too much sucralose in it, and that was definitely, I was looking forward to it because of the flavor that it was supposed to be, but when it came out, I was not happy with it, and that is definitely one of the ones that goes in my E tier, because that is definitely not something that I would drink again. After that, we got the Friday the 13th Hack and Slash, and like I said, most of them were kind of okay. They were unimpressive. The Chucky one was the only good one, and I am moving that up to the D tier. But after that, we got the KSI Orange Vibe, and it's not called KSI Orange Vibe anymore. They had to change it because KSI went out and made his own energy drink. So, but that was really good, and that one is actually going to be going up. It is the first one to make the A tier because it is a great orange creamsicle flavor. Fix that right there. Boom. And they're not all that straight. Oh well, you guys get the idea. Next up, we have Hype Sauce, and oh my goodness, I was not expecting this drink because it was supposed to be like a raspberry lemonade, but then people were like, well no, it's more of a raspberry lemon flavor, and I don't like lemons or lemonades, but this one was absolutely amazing, and this actually goes up into my S tier. I would buy this, even though, no, I wouldn't buy it because it's 300, but if they went down to like 200 on this, or made it into their 140 line, whew, I'd be buying that one because they did an amazing job with that, and it's probably one of the only raspberry lemons I would drink. Next up, we got some grape muffins, and I wasn't sure what to expect out of this. I'm usually not much of a grape fan, but they really did actually give you like that muffin taste somehow. So this is definitely something that I would have again. It's definitely something I would put my money on, and that is going up into that B tier. As for Mega Man, that slushy flavor that they came up with for Mega Man, that was really, 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 really good. Is it S tier good? It's not S tier good, but it's definitely in the A tier. Did an amazing job. If you guys like that nice blue raz slushy kind of flavor, they did a really good job with that Mega Man. Next up is going to be M-Fan Punch, and I thought that this was going to be like just a regular kind of fruit punch flavor, but it was actually a pretty good punch flavor. It was a little bit different than what I was expecting, and I will say that I am going to put that in the C tier, because even though it's a fruit punch flavor, usually I'm not a fruit punch fan, but I think they did a decent job with it. And I wish this would like snap to grid. I thought I sized them all the right size. That's just going to bug the heck out of me. Sorry if it bugs the heck out of you, but it bugs the heck out of me too. But I'm not redoing it. Next up, we got the GFuel Miami Nights. Oh my god, they're all GFuel. But Miami Nights, if you didn't know, you should know by now that is my #1 drink out of all of the GFuels, and that is something that's in my regular rotation. That is definitely S tier drink right there. Just really, really good stuff. Not so good stuff. Mortal Kombat, they went with a Mortal Kombat drink. And I really thought that Ice Shatter, I was really hoping for some good things from it, but I did not get good things from it, so that is going to the D tier. But when they came out with the Scorpion Sting, I actually liked that. It had a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of sting to it, and I'm actually going to put that in the C tier because I thought it was pretty good. It was very hit or miss for a lot of people because they didn't like a spicy flavor. But they did a good job with it. It wasn't overly spicy. Next up is that Naruto Sage Mode, or Naruto. Not Naruto? I always say it wrong. But that was a great drink. That was so good that is actually going way up there. That is going to A tier stuff. That was a really good flavor. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually starting to crave some of these flavors again, but they're usually not that easy to get. That's my one biggest complaint with GFuel, is that they're just all over the place. Some of them are Sheets exclusive, some are store exclusive. There was like this computer store that got one of them, and then sometimes you go to like Walgreens, they only have like 4 flavors, always the same 4 flavors. You go to Rite Aid, they have a different couple of flavors, so they're all over the place. It would be really nice if you could, even their website has different drinks all the time, but they don't have like a large selection of all their drinks. It's just a mishmash hodgepodge of what they have on their website. So it would be good to have a place to be able to go and get all your favorite drinks. It's difficult to find all your favorite G-Fuels. And if that Naruto Sage Mode was good, what did I think about the orange cream soda? It's not orange cream soda. It's soda something candy. Soda candy, I don't know. It had a little bit of an orange feel to it, and I did not like it nearly as much, so that actually goes down to the C tier. And the last one for that first line, which is the first 26 flavors, is the Ninja Cotton Candy. And that C tier is getting pretty filled up, and we're going to continue to fill it up with that cotton candy. And since we're halfway done, I am going to move some of these around real quick. I am definitely a fan of that Bobby Boy, just a little bit more than that hype sauce. So we'll move those 3 like that. I would say these 3 are in the right order. These 4 would have to be moved around a little bit. I would actually have to say that even though the Grape Muffins was good, I still like a lot of them better than that one. But probably something like that. Strawberry Lychee's got to go above that Dr. Disrespect. Then down here, we got that blue ice. We're going to move that over a little bit. Not all the way over there. Just keeping it out of the way. We are going to move some of these over. We're going to move the Doozy Fruit over. I think the Chucky is good where it is. Wumpa Fruit, the same thing. That soda cream candy, whatever that was, orange soda, got to be moved over. Like I said, the originals were pretty good. I'm going to move those over there too. Move over that M-Fam Punch. Move over that Ninja Cotton Candy. Get some of that Scorpion Sting for that little bit of bite to it. And then we'll put the Blue Ice, the Phaseberry, and the Swedish Fish. Not Swedish Fish. Raging Gummy Fish. I'd have to say when it gets to the bottom here, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Maybe I'll go back later. But let's move on to number 27, which is One Shot Girl Strawberry Slushy, which they named it Strawberry Slushy, but it's really much more of a strawberry cream. I wish they would have put strawberry cream on there so more people knew. But it's definitely like a strawberry creamsicle flavor. Really good. So good, it's going up to that A tier. That's right, that's A tier stuff right there. One Shot Girl, good job. Next up, we got some Pac-Man Cherry Lollipop something or other. Power Pellet. It was unimpressive to me, so that's going down into the D tier. Also unimpressive to me was that PewDie something. He's like one of the most popular YouTubers, and I still can't get his name right. He's in the D tier. Sorry, PewDiePie. Next up, we got some Pink Drip, and we're getting a lot of these things in the D area now, so that is also going into the D area. Looks very similar to that hype sauce. Definitely does not taste similar to it. Next up, we got some Rainbow Sherbet, and you know, I'm not overly into sherbets, but I do think they did a good job with it, and that's going right up there. And look at that, we got 3 of the original flavors all right next, actually all 4. That's all 4 of the original flavors right next to each other. And yeah, well, wait, one of these might be second tier. That Phase Jeff might have been, yeah, that Phase Jeff is actually the second release. But still, 1, 2, 3, maybe we didn't get to that 4th one yet. The 4th one is actually the Sour Cherry. So yeah, Blue Ice, Phaseberry, Rainbow Sherbet, and Sour Cherry were the first release. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Let's move on to that Red Licorice. And I wasn't overly into Red Licorice in general as a candy, but they actually did a pretty good job with it. And I don't think it should go in the D tier because it did actually taste like Red Licorice. So it is something. I'm not sure if I would drink it again, just based on personal preference. Definitely wouldn't spend my money on it, but I think it deserves to go in the C tier because it still is it did a good job being what it is. So even though this is my personal tier list, I still got to give credit where credit is due. Most of these are going to be similar to where they fell on the Caffeine Man rating chart, but not all of them. Not like you guys have the Caffeine Man rating chart memorized anyway. Next up, we got the GFuel Nemesis Tea, or I keep saying GFuel. I always say the flavor is GFuel, but this is the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Tea, going all the way up to the A tier. And someone told me that it was discontinued. I hadn't seen it in a while, and the reason why I don't know a lot about the drinks is because most of them were 300 milligrams, and I don't drink the 300 milligrams, so I wouldn't buy them again. Even though I say I would buy that and drink it, if I drank 300 milligrams, I would buy that and drink it. But I don't, and that was actually one of my favorite iced teas that they make. Like any company, any energy drink company, for a carbonated energy tea, and now it's gone. Next up, we got the Roman Atwood Bahama Mama, and this was part of their second release. And even though those first releases were pretty good, I drink them again. This one I would not only buy again, I would actually buy it, drink it, and tell my friends all about it, moving up to that S tier. That's right, superior, super splendiferous. Not a ton of them up in the S tier, but definitely not going to that spot. No, sorry about that. Gotta move you over like that. Yeah, sorry, Roman. Next up, we got some Shiny Splash. And this is going to be similar to the red licorice. It was definitely a good flavor. It was a solid flavor. And I might not drink it again because it is lemonade, but it was a good blue lemonade. And it just doesn't deserve to be in the D spot. So I am putting it in the C tier. What does deserve to be in a certain spot is this snow cone flavor. If you saw my review on it, you'll know why. But similar to the Free Guy, they just seemed like they put too much sucralose in it, and I was just overpowered with this sucralose flavor that I could not drink it. And some people still say snow cone's their favorite. I don't see how. But hey, we all get different taste buds. Yours really like sucralose. But for me, that went down to the E. And there's not a lot in the E tier, guys. GFuel does a great job, as you can see. A lot of them in the A, B, C. And then, like I said, the D ones are okay, in my opinion. And that'll bring us to the Sonic Peach Rings. Everyone had great things to say about Sonic Peach Rings. I am a huge fan of Peach, even though that Divine Peach didn't go that well. But I'm not sure what they expected out of the Divine Peach when they already had Sonic Peach Rings as an amazing flavor. And on the Caffeine Man rating chart in general, this was way up there. This was like it's like in the top 3 probably. I even did a Battle of the Peaches back before there was so many out there. And that is going up there, but even though it's an amazing peach flavor, I am going to be moving it into its proper spot so I don't have to keep moving them. And it's still great. It's still better than that hype sauce, but still, that Bobby Boy, Bahama Mama, and Miami Nights, those are my go-tos, especially since the Miami Nights is 140. It's the only one in the S tier that's 140. Really wish they had more 140 options. Which then brings us down to the Sonic Sour Power. I was not as impressed by that one, but I still think they did a good job with it, so I am putting it in the C tier. And next up, we have the last of the original line. They came out with 4 flavors. This was the 4th one in that line, or it's the 4th one alphabetically, and that was the Sour Cherry, and this scored really great for me when the first came out. This was an amazing flavor, and as much as I want to say it's S tier, oh, so many other great drinks out there, I am putting it into the A tier. It's still an amazing drink. A for amazing, A for awesome, but it's just not, it's not in that S tier caliber just yet. And if I were to move these around, I am going to put Naruto a bit higher than that one. Going to leave a space for One Shot Girl. One Shot Girl's going to go over there. Slushy's going to move up a little bit. Sour Cherry's going to go into that 2nd spot. Nemesis can also stay there. Even though it's my favorite tea, I still drink that One Shot Girl over it. But then there's that unique Naruto. Sage Mode. Good stuff. Next up, we have Sour Chug Rug. That was part of the 2nd release, which also was the Raging Gummy Fish, Dr. Disrespect, Sour Chug Rug, and was it Blue Ice? Now I'm remembering it. It was either Blue Ice or it was Tropical. Tropical Rain was, yeah, see, because I didn't see Tropical because we're not in the T yet. Tropical Rain was either the 1st or the 2nd release. So was the Blue Ice. It was one of those other ones. But there were 3 brand names, 3 inspired by names in the 2nd round of drinks. Sour Chug Rug, one of the best sour blue razzes out there. It was the only sour blue raz out there at the time, and now it basically has competition with Ghost Sour Patch Kids Blue Raz. And even though it is S tier, I do have to move a bunch of these over that are still, I think, better than the Sour Chug Rug. But still, for having one of your original flavors still being up there, way up there, that's a good sign. In my opinion. Say that a lot in this video. Next up, we have that glitch mix from well, it's Spider-Man. That's why it's in that alphabetical place, the S category. But it is not going to S tier. It was okay. It's going down into the D tier. And to tell you the truth, just to make it easy, all of the Spider-Mans were going into the S tier. D tier. I wasn't overly impressed by any of the Spider-Mans, unfortunately. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, but not of the GFuel flavors. Next up is Spyro Dragon Fruit. No, that was a no for me. Speed this video along, just tell you it was a no. GFuel Summit 1G, though, that was a raspberry creamsicle flavor, a little bit different creamsicle flavor, really good. I'm pretty sure anything that was a creamsicle flavor has been doing good. You have to like that creamsicle flavor, but GFuel's been doing a great job. They had the One Shot Girl, that was a good strawberry creamsicle flavor. They got the KSI, which also was a great creamsicle flavor, and then even raspberry. Next up, we got that Blood, Sweat, and Tears by Super Meat Boy. And this one's controversial, just like the Scorpion Sting was kind of controversial because Scorpion Sting was a little bit spicy. This Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I was so looking forward to it, and I am so happy that they had it at a computer store not too far from me. Although someone may have sent it to me, I can't remember exactly, or I might have ordered it. I'm not sure, but it was amazing to me. Like I said, this one is very controversial, and this one is so controversial. People are going to be like, how could you do that? How could you put it like so high up? But I am a fan of cinnamon. I am a fan of red hots. I am a fan of spicy things. I like the spicy cocaine energy drink. And that was really good. That was like drinking a red hot. And but it doesn't go that high up. It doesn't. You gotta move some of these over. I'll be moving them over as we're getting down to the last couple now. So I'm gonna move those over to there like that, and say, you know, it was just, I like it slightly better than that sour cherry, but that slushy from Mega Man, good stuff. Next up, we're going down to the Tetris. And there was some debate over what Tetris was supposed to be. A lot of people said it was supposed to be like a Skittles flavor. And I think that it was similar to like a Skittles type candy flavor and not as good as a Skittles energy drink by C4. But it was still really good. And I'm actually going to put that in the B tier, because I would buy it again if it wasn't 300 milligrams, and I have actually seen that in the stores, so it must be selling really well because it's at least the convenience stores near me. Next up, we got some Compound V from The Boys T, so it's in the T category alphabetically. And this one almost went down to the E category, and I rated it as a decent score, like an okay score for what it was, but it was definitely a miss for me. But I don't think that I can put it in the E tier because it wasn't that terrible, so that one is going into the D tier. And if I am moving them over, I should start moving this D tier. I'm gonna leave the. I'll do it now. I'm so confused. Like, I don't know which ones I like. I don't like most of these, and I'm trying to think of what order I don't like them in the most. I think I evenly dislike most of those, so I'm not moving those around. It's gonna take too much time for me to figure it out. Tiny Tina was a unique flavor, and I think it was hit or miss. I think some people loved it, some people hated it. I thought it was pretty okay, and I would say it does go right there. It does go at the best end of the D, because I'd like to put it in C, but I've had it just not for me. Tropical Rain, like I said, that was either from the original line or from the second series. I did really like it, and it is going up there, but it's not going in that spot. Neither are most of these. I thought I moved the C's around already. I did. I moved them up to the Scorpions. And I put the originals. I put the Rainbow. Okay, I just gotta move these and fit these around in there somewhere. Yeah, Red Licorice, you're not going there. Yeah, I gotta move all of you over to make room for Red Licorice over there. Same thing with a Shiny Splash. Move these two over to make room for the Tropical Rain. And where are you going, Sour Power? I like it just a little bit better than Ninja. Alright, similar to the Spider-Mans, the Venom's not that great. Then we got some Watermelon Limeade to close out the entire series, and that was actually pretty good. Watermelon was a bit saturated over the last few years, and this wasn't brand new for this past year, but when the market was saturated with watermelons, there was only like 1 or 2 companies that came out with like a watermelon lime, and one of those was Venom, had a good watermelon lime flavor. And this one is actually pretty good. I like it, and I am actually going to put that up in the B tier because it's definitely unique, definitely not something I would drink all the time, but definitely something I would see if it wasn't 300 milligrams, it could be in my semi-regular rotation. Speaking of regular rotation, depending on when you're watching this video, I am trying to do a live stream every week going over what my regular rotation is, but it's basically 1 week of drinks to show you what I drink each week. Hopefully I can see you there, and hopefully if this is like a month or 2 after the release, hopefully I'm still doing it. So one last look at everything. Is this the right order? I will actually move that watermelon lime that just jumped in there. I am going to move that to where? Right here, actually. So we'll move you guys over there. Watermelon lime, slightly better than that Disrespect, but not as good as that Dragon Ball Z. That D tier, you guys are going to be mad if I don't organize that D tier because, like I said, they're all just sort of meh. How can you pick the best one out of meh flavors? I can't. So there you go, guys. That is my GFuel tier list. I hope it was everything you guys have been wanting the last few years. You've been asking for it. But hey, listen, GFuel didn't release that many drinks in 2023. And with them not releasing many more drinks, I said, you know what? Let me jump in on this tier list because it seems like they're slowing down. The first 2-3 years that they were doing it, they were banging out flavors like crazy to get up to 52. Only a couple released last year, so each time they release a new flavor, not only will I put it on the Caffeine Man rating chart, but I will also update my GFuel tier list. If you guys want to see all the reviews I've done on this, I'll put a playlist right there of all my GFuel reviews, and my finger's probably going to be covering that up, like that. Boom. And if you want to just see my top 10 and top 20s, I will put a playlist there for that. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to check out caffeineman1.com for how to save money on energy drinks. And until next time, have yourselves a great day. Or night.